Hello folks, and greetings from what we're calling this review of the year, Nigel.
Yes, it struck us that lots of people do a review of the year in December, and so we thought we'd have a go at doing one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it's been an interesting and a rewarding but difficult at times. It's had a lot of issues with my caring, which has gone from one extreme to the other.
Yes, we were going to do all sorts of things on Julie's plots, and only a few of them happened because the amount of time Julie could spend up there was severely reduced when her mum became ill.
Yeah.
That was really difficult.
Right, we're just going to have a little quick stop now while I control the dog.
Oh yeah, that would do.
Okay folks,
Right.
I'm so sorry about that. Had to get the dog in to the end. Somebody was passing by. Right then, Nigel, let's crack on.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about beginning of the year.
Well, yeah, the big event for me was with my apple breeding project, because I ended up with about 300 seedlings which I'd produced from crosses that I'd carried out, and they were all about this big, and I had nowhere to put them, and I found a local allotment that looked as though I'd be able to buy it, and it was all going through smoothly when the chap selling it died, and the sellers then, after I put about a year's worth of digging into that bit of land, suddenly turned up and said they didn't want to sell it anymore. So this was a bit of a bombshell. But in the interim, I found another plot nearby which I could rent, so I started working on that one. And then 4 weeks later, after I'd started digging this plot over, the original vendors came along and said, we've changed our mind, we'd like to sell you the original plot. So that's what they did. So to my surprise, I suddenly had 2 quite large allotment plots to put all these seedlings in. So what a relief. So I've been working on that for most of the year, and I've got now 120 trees in one of the plots and about 50 in the other. And everything seems to be going pretty well.
Okay.
Right, over to you, Julie.
Yeah. I'm wondering whether maybe in those few weeks they actually looked to see whether there was going to be any chance of getting building permission on that land, and when they found out they couldn't, that's probably what...
I think that might have something to do with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I think so.
Right, so that was what Nigel was up to. At the beginning of the year, my first project was getting the raised beds into the allotment and sorting out where it was flooding. So I built it up and put the new beds in. I can't remember, I think there was 15 new beds went in. There's quite a few.
Yes,
6.
you used an enormous amount of compost, didn't you, when
Yeah.
you were setting them up?
Yeah.
But raised beds are so good because it doesn't matter how much rain you get or how wet it is, you can still work the beds any day of the year, unless they're frozen solid, which is pretty rare.
Yeah, yeah. And my beds are raised.
Mm.
You know, sometimes people put just boards around and call them raised beds, but they're not really any difference with the ground level. Yeah, so that was interesting. And then I had the I wood chipped everywhere, didn't I? I did that at the same time.
Yes, you did. You shifted about half a truckload of wood chip on your own, didn't you, with a wheelbarrow?
Yeah.
And it took quite a few days, and you've got this sort of depth of wood chip on all the footpaths.
Yeah.
And that will mean now that when weeds grow, they're dead easy to pull out. They'll just come straight out.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And after that, I had the hens.
Oh yeah, why did you decide to start looking after hens?
It all came down to, I used to see a lot of photos of my grandparents, well, even my sister when we were in Germany, and my relatives there had hens, and there's some early pictures of her playing with the hens. I never actually got that opportunity. and it was something what I wanted to have. I've always had a love of animals.
Yeah, hens are quite a lot of fun. When I was 11, we bought some hens, and my father bought some hens for us, and we looked after them for 3 or 4 years, and they were a lot of fun. And of course, you get lots of eggs, particularly in the spring and early summer.
Yeah, but even so, you know, I'm still getting a fair few eggs now, aren't we? Every day,
yes,
without fail.
Yes, it's good.
So they're good, certainly good layers. Some people have said that they not getting any. Only one or two. I think there's been a thief around.
Do you know what breed of hens they are? Because they look very like the ones we had, and ours were Rhode Island Red crossed with light Sussex, and they look the same, but they're not, are they?
There probably are something along those lines, because where we buy them from, they give them their own names, and what they were generally called in olden times. For people older than us, they were generally called warrens. But no, I don't know the exact. But along those lines, yeah.
We've had. Oh, one other thing we could just mention. I noticed you had some superb potato plants from the Sharpo variety. It was Sharpo Blue Danube, was it?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
The flowers were stunning.
Fantastic.
And the potatoes were great as well.
Yeah, that was the purpley bluey colour. They looked a bit scary when you take them out, you know, looking at that colour. But once you've actually peeled them out, they are white potatoes, and they were gorgeous.
Yes.
And the thing about them, there was one bed where I never actually got around to putting some more soil and multi-compost in, and so there was manure, and then it was just like a little bag of multi-compost and some topsoil, and basically from the bottom of the floor to the top of the ground level there was only like 5 inches of soil, and that bed produced really good potatoes.
I used to grow a lot of potato varieties in pots, and I found that if you put a potato in a pot, plant it at the bottom, and you gradually fill the pot up with compost as it grows, and even if you get quite a heavy yield, you find that all of the tubers are in about a 5-inch, what's the word? Well, they're all clustered within a 5-inch band.
Yeah.
In the pot with most varieties. You get the odd one where they spread more than that, but usually it's only a few inches.
I mean, I had all those varieties what I grew in the pots, but to be honest with you, it was a lot down to me. I was unable to water, and so we did get potatoes out of them all, but it wasn't like you see from some of the YouTube viewers, you know. And that was purely really down to the watering.
Yeah, I found, roughly speaking, the number of pounds of potatoes you get from a pot plant, it's if you have a 3-gallon container, you will, if you're lucky, get about 3 pounds of potatoes. 10-gallon container, you might get 10 pounds of potatoes, but that's a rough rule that I've found over the years. But to get that, you have to water at least once a day, and if it's hot in the summer, you know, July, August, you might even have to water twice. So you can't go on holiday or anything like that.
Yeah.
We've had lots of new projects this year as well, haven't we, Julie?
We have, yeah. Projects that initially you've been involved with, but since you've introduced me into the videoing, we've got more and more people who want me to come along and join in. Yeah,
we started off beginning of the year with the Foxton Orchard. There was a bit of land near the top lock at Foxton Locks, and it was scrubland, lots of bramble and weeds and other things, and derelict trees, and that's now been cleared virtually, and we have a little orchard starting there, which Julie has filmed, and we've done, I think, 3 or 4, possibly even 5 videos there. So that was good.
Yeah.
Then there was Botcherston.
Yeah, and that's a superb location, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we had a big orchard planting there about a fortnight ago, and we put in just under 70 trees, and I think there are 18 more slots to put some more in.
Yeah.
But that was a super afternoon.
And then there was Coach Batch.
Yeah, we're keeping the Coates Batch orchards nice and tidy. They'd been neglected for a few years, but now we're meeting 2 or 3 times each year and with a group of volunteers, and we're making sure that they're kept in good nick.
Of course, we've got the new project, haven't we, at Market Harborough?
Oh yes, the Carers Garden.
No.
Oh no,
No.
this is the one that we did most recently, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Market Harborough wildlife and orchard site, which we went round in some detail about.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was about 10 days ago.
I know some of you have commented how it was noisy, but I can tell you from my experience and knowledge, it will have no effect on the wildlife. In fact, you'll get some of the best wildlife along a railway line because it knows that it's protected from people and that generally along a safe environment. And I could see from all the tracks and trails what are going through that stock fence that there's a lot of wildlife there.
Yeah, and Judith and I are going to look again at Botcherston, and perhaps you'll be coming along, I don't know, because we haven't organised this yet.
No.
But Judith wants to see how the Botcherston orchard is done, to get ideas for the one that she's going to do on that new site.
And this will be also a person from another project seeing somebody else, and up until now, quite often they don't know each other, do they?
Well, that's right. That's why we set up the Leicestershire Gardening Network. Yeah.
Well, we've not really talked about that, have we? I haven't put anything new on just lately because of so much problems with my caring role. But we will gradually. The latest videos go on. I think I'm pretty up to date. I've just got the last few weeks to just stick on. In fact, I think we're up to date until this week. I think the content wasn't really appropriate for that channel, for that website.
Now, the other project that was a big surprise was the Carers Garden, which we're doing over near Wykin in Hinckley. And we honestly thought we were not going to get any land to make this feasible. But we've been allocated a bit of land, and we're now in the process of doing the paperwork and organisation. We're looking for a treasurer, but we haven't advertised the role yet. But we're just about to do that. And we're now looking for a logo for the Carers website, the Carers Garden, which Julie is going to take care of.
We did a rough one, and I'm just going to modify it because I didn't have the right software at the time, but I've got it now.
Yeah. The new apple variety.
Yeah. We in the spring we did our. You did the crossing, didn't you?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and
the cross pollination.
We've got the Braeburn with a red fleshed apple.
That's right.
And it took, and we've got how many apples?
We've got 9 apples.
9 apples.
And so far I've taken seeds out of the first 4, and I think there are about 30 seeds.
Yeah.
So we're going to have probably 60 seeds or so.
Yeah.
So we'll get, that many seedlings perhaps if we sow them all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition. I've got lots of other crosses to sow pips for as well.
Yeah.
So we may have to say, right, we'll do 20 of those, 20 of those, 20 of those.
Yeah.
And then just narrow it down to a smaller number at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that should be fun. Oh, and we've got some new, you've got some new equipment.
I have, yeah. I've got, we've got the wildlife camera, first of a few we hope, and we're going to use these on some of the projects, what we do, and maybe elsewhere as well.
What's the difference between that and an ordinary camera? What can it do that an ordinary one can't?
This one can be left in all weather, and it can record day and night. It can take single shots, or it can take small short videos. At night it'll be in black and white, in the day it'll be colour. It's 12 megapixel pictures in the day.
Can you do time lapse?
Yes, you can.
Right.
Yeah.
So we could possibly do pictures of certain plants growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that. We've got the GoPro. I've got all.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, I've got all the different what do you call them, accessories for it, so we can film high up if we need to. It can be controlled from the mobile phone. We can go underwater with this.
Yeah, I was at a go-kart circuit earlier in the week with my brother, and during one of the races there, two of the participants had little cameras like that clipped to their helmets, so they must have got some superb footage.
Yeah, we can get all those, you know, for this. But all I've got is I've got the chest one at the moment, so that will go around the chest, and we can. What this would enable us to do is actually film when we're doing things like picking, or when we're doing I don't know, maybe sowing seeds, things where I need to have the hands free.
Yes.
We can have that on. Yeah. We can also use the other conventional cameras at the same time, but what it will mean is we can slot in different bits of video and where we need to. At least that's the plan anyway.
Yeah. Have you got any microphones that clip on
I
relatively
have.
close?
We've got a couple.
Yeah, because
I've got one with a 10-metre cable,
and
we've got one which it's just got a 2-metre and just to wear it.
Yeah, because that could be quite useful if we have a windy day.
And that's meant to have some sort of noise cancelling thing, you know, to do with the wind and that. So we'll have to see. We've got to try that all out.
Right.
The other thing is, on the photography side, we've got the SLR camera, and the lens what I've actually bought specifically for this isn't the one what's on at the moment. That came with it. It's a macro one, so we'll be able to get really close up, and that should work with the video as well. So we could perhaps be filming bugs and stuff on the allotment. You know, but we'll see. But certainly flower-wise, it's going to be produce some. It's the lens what I've bought is for real close-up. I think that's about it, Nigel. I'm sure we've missed things, but that's basically sums up what's been happening. The allotments have not. There hasn't been as much success on my allotment flower-wise. That all fell apart, but obviously, but it was a great success with the beds, and it did help my situation. I can recommend that if you're in a caring role, or you think you might end up in a demanding caring role, to think very carefully, and once you've thought about it, think about it again, because I've got to make a few changes, but that's another thing. Anyway, that's it, folks. I'd like to wish you all a Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, and we'll call it, we'll say goodbye.
Yeah, cheerio.
Bye.